Hello. This music is so distracting. Hang on. I didn't realize until like yesterday or something, or 2 days ago, that apparently a lot of the streams that I had like the lo-fi music for was getting copyright striked. Not striked, but there was like it made a note that I was playing copyrighted music, which doesn't matter because what? It doesn't matter because I don't get paid to do things on YouTube, so it's not a big deal. But I was like, probably, I should probably stop using copyrighted music and stuff. So, gotta go find music that won't get flagged. But, not a big deal. Anyway, I also stopped. I don't hear like the notifications anymore for resubs and stuff. But thank you for 32 months, Urban. Things kind of broke, and I'm like too lazy to fix it. Is there a, hang on, is it event emulator? Oh yeah, it doesn't even show up. Oh, is it because of this? Oh, there you go. That's probably why. I had it hidden, that's why I didn't hear anything. Wait, hang on, I forgot how OBS works. Ah, that was why. That was my fault. I thought something broke with Stream Elements, but it turned out it was just because I hit it. Not that it matters. But I'm sure I hit it at some point. Probably because when I was like doing like time-lapse recording for stuff. Things broke for streamers in general. I don't know. I'm so uninvolved with like the streaming and Twitch like community stuff. Anything that goes on. I find myself kind of like not losing interest, but recently I've just been unmotivated to do like content creating stuff. So I'm just like my head is not in the game, as it were. Which is why I kind of had to I forced myself to do a stream today. I was like, it's a day where I'm like, you know, free to do something. I should do something. I really just didn't want to do much of anything. But I was like, I gotta force myself. I gotta force myself to do something. And I originally thought maybe I should just like play a game, because I haven't played a game in a while. And like I have games that I've been holding off for like streaming purposes to play. But then I was like, I don't really feel like I don't feel like committing to a game right now either. So I was like, I'll draw, but I don't want to be like drawing every week too, because I don't feel like drawing. So I'm like, what am I fucking supposed to do? So like, fuck it, I'll just force myself to draw. And as a warm-up, instead of drawing like proper things, I decided to like play around with like signatures. Like if say I were to become like someone that signed things for like fans or whatever, not that it would happen. I was like thinking like, what's a good way to do a signature? And then I was thinking like something like this would have been nice, but in my head I was like, I wish I wasn't called DumplingzOwO. If I was like DOWO or something, like DOWO, then I'd be like, ah, this makes sense. This signature would make sense for it. But alas, it doesn't matter. I will not be doing a Naruto quiz. I've already settled on doing art, and I will be doing art. But thank you for your suggestion. I will be disregarding it. So, the last time we had done... Is the music... Can you hear the music? Not that it really matters. But you guys can... But the music can be... is audible, right? Compared to overall volume. Should be okay. It's probably quiet, though, I assume. I'm not gonna touch it. Where was the... Here. The last time we did a drawing stream, I was looking at this art challenge thing, and I only did one thing. Hear it faintly. I'll turn it up a little bit. Not that you really need to hear it, but... I have it on, so I might as well. I was doing this art challenge thing. And I did one picture with a square. And I figured I might as well just keep at it until I get some more stuff done, until I get tired of it. So the second day would be fluffy, it looks like. There's some construction happening outside. I love that for me. Oh well. Anyway, fluffy? What happened to my... What's wrong with my... Oh. I've never seen this cursor. Can you get... Oh, okay, yeah. So, I recently upgraded my computer to Windows 11. After my computer telling me that I couldn't upgrade to Windows 11, thankfully, Visumatic has tech people, little tech nerds, that helped me to finesse and to figure out how to force my computer to upgrade. Or force my computer to do something so that it can't upgrade to Windows 11, so... Basically, Visumatic helped me to save $1,500 on a new computer. Which, if I had to get a new computer, would have pissed me off because this computer that I'm using right now is only like 5 years old. So if I had to buy a new one that soon, I would have been upset. Especially considering this works just fine. It's worked fine. Yeah, it's been fine. I haven't come across any issues. If anything, it's almost better because... What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. Oh, when I was using Windows 10, I had this like custom cursor thing that I can't really... Hang on, I was able to show it before. This little custom cursor thing here, this little triangle. I had this little cute little custom cursor installed, but with the Windows 10, I had to always manually go into the settings to switch it to this, even though it clearly said that it was using this cursor stuff, this cursor set. But Windows 11, it just has a default. So now I never have to change it. Now I can always just see a happy little triangle. I can see a happy little triangle. Oh, whenever I need to. Anyway. Other than that, I haven't fiddled around with any new stuff with Windows 11. Because I don't mess with stuff to begin with. It's been working fine though. Nothing is broken for me. Nothing is broken for me yet. And I'm hoping it doesn't. I don't want things breaking. I would ideally like it if it didn't break. I really don't feel like spending money on a broken thing. You know? You know. Anyway, so day 2 is fluffy. I haven't decided what pen I want to use or what tool I want to use. I guess I'll just stick with this. I want to force myself to like this pen because I like it, but for drawing, the way I like it, I'm not a... it doesn't fit quite well with me, but I'm gonna force myself to use it because apparently you fuck my feelings on things. Alright, fluffy. No thoughts. Let's just do warm-up stuff. Or I say warm-up, but I'm probably gonna end up just sticking to whatever gets on the paper. So, to postpone my PC since the model I want was sold out. Yeah, because originally in my head, if I was gonna get a new computer, my initial thought was just to get the same brand and whatever that I already have since it works fine. But then Hunter was like saying like, nah, they're not as good anymore, and then he was like listing me options and stuff. I was like, bless these tech kids' hearts. They know stuff. They're able to find out this stuff for me because I don't know anything. For me, I'm just gonna be like, oh, this looks nice. I won't know any of the stuff, the specs that I need to know or care about. So I'm so like tech, not illiterate, but like I'm not as great with tech stuff. So it's nice being able to have someone on speed dial to be like, it's someone help me. What do I need? As long as it works and it does things that I needed to do, I didn't really care. Especially nowadays, since my streaming habits have been dwindling. Although I wouldn't be surprised if it picks back up after like the new year or something. I know the new year is still like a bit away, like a couple of months away, but I'm waiting for like a change in something. If that makes sense. Same thing with the content creating. Actually, the content creating I don't know about. The longer I'm away from DaVinci Resolve, the more like the less I care about making videos. I feel like I don't even know what I want my content to be anymore, even though I wasn't making anything like special to begin with. I think with the things that I care, it's not that I don't. No, it's not. No, I was gonna say something, but that's actually not right. I don't think there's anything particular when it comes to content creating that I want to put out that I would care enough to put time and like sweat into. If that makes sense. Like it's easy to say like, play a game, do a let's play, get it out there. I feel like for me, I've gotten to the point where like that's just like, it's not satisfying enough to really like do that and put it out and then call it a day kind of thing. It's lost substance for me. If that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. I am tired. I am a little tired. It's because I opted to not get myself an energy drink for this stream. I considered buying one, but then I was like, eh. You've been stellar in streaming, have I? I've been okay. Like, I try to do at least once a week. At least once a week. At least once a month. But I think schedule-wise, I've been pretty okay with doing it at least once a week recently. I think the longest I've gone is maybe like 2 weeks. But like for me, I have no life outside of like outside of either family or obligations and stuff. So a lot of times when I don't stream, it's usually either because just like it's after work and I don't feel like it, or it's family stuff. You may suggest stuff. Been clear enough on the aspect that I might just not stream for week. What? Oh, that's new. That's a new comment. Been clear enough on the aspect that you don't need to necessarily cater to your interest. Yeah, you mean it's like regardless of like what you suggest and all that stuff. It's things that I take into consideration because you Urban have been a very constant like viewer of my streams, which I'm grateful for. But I also I'm very aware that like if I don't feel like it, then I won't do it. So even like with this one, this one I'm forcing myself to do. No one's forcing me to do it. I'm just doing it because I want to do something. Instead of just like sitting on my butt for hours playing another simulator game while watching Brutal Moose on the side, which I've been watching. I decided like on a whim. I decided to watch his like old playthrough of the Shenmue games. I'm still currently watching the first one, but it's been neat. It's been neat watching him play Shenmue. I have one streamer that has their PC broken all the time. Even then, he might just stream for weeks because he wasn't up to it. Yeah, I think people who are able to stream. Like, it could be one of two ways. Like, people who have a consistent stream schedule. Or people who just don't... Who just stream whenever they feel like it. Like, it's tough if you're someone that doesn't have a schedule. And it takes you, like... You could be gone for, like, weeks or months without streaming anything. But, I mean, if you're not up for it, it's better to go on breaks like that than to force yourself to. But... I think as long as you're like letting people know that like you're just not up for it, just that the open communication with people who might be waiting for you to stream would be nice, kind of thing. I say that as if like I say that as if there's someone in mind when I say that. I don't really watch Twitch streamers except for like occasionally Brutal Moose. And then if I do watch anyone, it's just to pop in for like a second to see what they're doing, see if I vibe, and most of the time I don't. I love watching Shenmue. I would have liked playing a game like Shenmue, but it looks like the controls of that game are really like, they look like they'd be a hassle to deal with. But I like the aspect of like, you know, you're not living like a day-to-day cycle. Because I get stressed out when there's a timer. Like you have to get things done at a certain time. But being able to interact with everything and then you're just like, you know, like life simulator type of aspect where you're just going through your town, talking to people, trying to get information and doing stuff. Like it's just chill. If it weren't for the fact that there's like the story about Nero's father and trying to figure out who murdered him and all that stuff. He'd just be walking around town just talking to everybody. Doing gachapons. Feeding a kitten. I forgot I was supposed to rejoice something fluffy. Hang on. This fucking hang on. I'm starting over. I was fiddling with that for a long time, but I don't like it. I don't like. Do I like this pen? This pen works nice if you're doing like fast strokes, but if I'm doing slow strokes, it kind of looks blocky as fuck. Okay, I'm using something else. I'm using something else. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter to anyone but me. Blah 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 blah. I haven't drawn in a bit, so I'm like rusty to shit. I'll just use this for now. No one cares but me. No one cares but me. He is playing the English dub. I'd be curious to hear how it was in Japanese, because the English dub, I was reading some of the people in his chat were like talking about how the English dub was like a translation. Whoever did the translation might have been the original director or director of the game itself or whatever. I don't know, but whoever did it did the translation pretty like on the nose and rather poorly, so that certain things that are being said didn't make any sense. That's nothing to do with the quality of the dub itself, but rather like the translation itself. Like when you're in the convenience store and you're like is there, hang on, there's like a little bit of lag. All right, I am not satisfied with this pen tool. God damn it. We're in a convenience store and you're buying something, you have a chance to pull out like a lotto ticket to win like a small prize. And then if you don't get a prize, the cashier just says, especially since you bought merchandise. And like with no context to it, it doesn't make any sense that you would say that when you lost out on the lottery after buying something. But thinking about it with the way you would say it in Japanese, it's that it should have been something like especially since you went out of your way to buy a merchandise for the chance at getting the lottery ticket. So that the context is meant to be like that, but because they just say, especially since you bought merchandise after losing, it's kind of like, it sounds stupid. Did you know there's a Boba-related horror game, the Boba Tea Shop? Yeah, I watched someone play it. It's like, again, another one of those games where you have like, you can make drinks and stuff, and that would be fine if it weren't, but all these games that look like they'd had a fun like shop simulator type of feel, like how it was with the closing shift, like the coffee shop one, and then there's the boba tea shop one. If they made that a regular game without the horror aspect, it'd be cool. But these people just love to fucking tack on like fucking horror to it. Like I want to be able to play a game where I can just make a coffee, make a boba, even though boba would probably get boring really quickly since there's not that much options. Alright, Fluffy, Fluffy, Fluffy. Remember Fluffy. When I think of Fluffy, I just think of that one HoloLive member that's a sheep. Because she's fluffy. So if this ends up being like a sheep person, just don't be surprised that I'm thinking about a sheep for Fluffy. Because sheeps are fluffy. Damn, I'm fucking tired. I slept like shit yesterday. I've seemed to have default whenever I can't fall asleep or whatever. I've tried to do the thing that people like to do where they put on YouTube videos to fall asleep too. I can't do it. Well, I vaguely did it, but it's not like one of those like you put it on and you can sleep for hours. I like put something on and I slept for like a couple of minutes and then woke up like occasionally, or woke up like very frequently. But in my defense, I keep putting on videos that I actually want to watch. Specifically Brutal Moose playing Oregon Trail. Because it's so entertaining watching him play Oregon Trail. Basically all I've been doing is watching Brutal Moose. And then very recently, like yesterday, I was watching a few Ask a Mortician videos because she had uploaded like 2 days ago. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that her videos are really entertaining to watch. Just occasionally I'll watch her videos and then she's like one of the few VTubers few YouTubers that I can watch without like having to multitask. Like I'll just sit there actually just intently watch because I like to learn from her. Shenmue came mostly as is because it's interesting to see olden time Japan compared to more often necessary because I think they once suggested they would have made the whole complete ground up for American setting. It wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't have worked if they changed that entire game to fit like American settings or whatever. Because the game is so deliberately slow paced. In America is not slow paced. You don't got people walking around, strolling around, doing shit. I mean, you do, but that's not what you see that's not what you imagine when it comes to like Western culture and stuff. That's the shit you see out in the rural areas or in Japan or like China or like stuff like that. No, well, in the rural areas, I guess. You wouldn't see that in bustling in like Beijing or something. You need to do it a while to get used to it. I don't know. I would ideally just like to be able to fucking fall asleep without having to put on something to help me fall asleep. Like a bitch can't just fall asleep. Why do I need to be coddled to fall asleep or soothed to fall asleep? I'm jealous of people who can like lay in bed for like a second before fully falling asleep. Like it takes me so long for me to actually sleep once I'm in bed. I would have liked it. It wouldn't be bad if they had made a game similar to Shenmue. Like the slow pace, like just doing menial things and like helping out your like town and stuff. But without having to do like QTEs and like action and fighting and stuff. I'm sure a game like that must exist. I don't know. I really like the pacing of the game. The slow pace. Being able to touch everything and inspect everything. Opening doors, going through all the drawers and stuff like that. That's the stuff that like completionist likes to be able to like interact with. Like it'd be a lot to interact with, but knowing that you can interact with everything is kind of like, ooh, I want to touch. Games like Shenmue. Just a slow pace type of game, slice of life type of game. Maybe I wouldn't mind like the whole like the drama surrounding like your father. I haven't fully watched the series yet, so I'm still in the process of like figuring out what's going on. But like having to investigate and like figuring out like who killed your father and all that stuff. I guess that in itself would be fine because that's just like investigating things. But having to fight and do stealthy stuff is kind of like eh. 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 Not that it matters. I don't even play games anymore. Unless it's a simulator game. Maybe I should just like say fuck all to streaming certain games on stream and just play it myself. Because I'm running out of games that I want to play. And I don't want to keep just playing simulator games. Like I had my fun with Water Park Simulator. Now I've been playing like a cash cleaning simulator. I gotta move on. I gotta get out of the simulator slop. Cash cleaning, yeah. Honestly, it's not a game that I would really recommend, if only because like they use like I shouldn't have bought it to begin with. They use like AI generated like art stuff for some of the things in the game, but I was like so desperate for something to hyperfixate on that I opted to get it because it was on sale. It's a game where you just like you're counting money, cleaning up dirty money, you know, quote unquote dirty money, and shipping it away for stuff. The aesthetics behind it is like neat because it's not just a simple like it's not like how it was with Supermarket Simulator where everything is just kind of basic looking. Like there's a style to it, but it's like well, it's money laundering in the literal sense where you have like a washing machine and you have like certain detergent and solvents to like clean up like ink stained money or like marked money, and like, you know, you got people somehow coming across like, you know, questionable money, large amounts of it somehow, and your job is to just kind of like make it so that it's clean and can be used. Don't question things. It takes a little bit to get used to, but the task of cleaning the money and using like the counting machines and then like sorting through money and organizing it is like, not gonna lie, it's a little bit like, you know, satisfying, but just people using AI generated stuff always just irks me in a way. And it's gotten to the point where like you just can't avoid it, obviously, because everyone's doing it. Whether it's like art or writing, everyone's using it. So it's like, okay, well, I guess it is the way it is. I mean, I'm still not going to actively use it. But how can I avoid it at this point since no one cares? No one cares. No one cares. No one cares about the implications of it. But I know there's more things to be concerned about in the world than AI nowadays, especially nowadays. Is there a good dentist game? If there is, I wouldn't want to play it. The last thing I want to see is someone's inside mouth with their cavities and molars, and they're not molars, but like the gunk in there. I already have to worry about my own teeth, which I really have to go see a dentist. My teeth are fine, but I haven't gotten cleaning in over a year. I need to get my teeth cleaned. The games I'm expected to play soon for myself is Henry Halfhead and Goblin Cleanup, which came out of early access, I think, earlier this week. I'm suddenly reminded. Oh. Well, this is just random. Just seeing the thing that I'm drawing right now is just making me think of a character from Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicles, and I was just thinking about how much I missed that manga. Oh, I need to find a way to read that easily. Both are new in the games. Well, the Henry Halfhead just came out. Like, Henry Halfhead and then Goblin Cleanup came out either out of early access or whatever, or fully just out earlier this week. I played the demo of Henry Halfhead, not on stream, but on my own time. It's a cute, quirky little game that maybe could be nice to stream with, but I probably won't be. I don't even know what good games there are to stream, or rather, what's a game that I would be willing to stream. I just keep thinking about like long games to commit to, like in terms of what like a long story that's not gonna be short. I don't know why, especially considering people usually don't like to watch series. Is Henry Halfhead like that text input game? with that yellow red cap character. I have no idea what that is. I have no idea what that's referring to. Henry Halfhead is you play as you literally play as half of a head, and you go around. You're able to like merge with everyday items, and occasionally you can put a hat on. But you can merge, but like you're a character that you can merge into like your table. You can merge into a bed. You can merge into like a pencil. You can merge into things and you control it. And then the demo had you like moving around and doing things while you're like taking control of items. I think the character looked something like this. And then they had like a big eye. Like this or something like that. I think his nose isn't as droopy. It's like something like this. Oh, Scribble Knots. No, it's not like Scribble Knots. To my understanding, there's no typing in Henry Halfhead. I forgot about Scribble Knots. What did Scribble Knots even look like? It was like a square head kid, right? I think he had like it was like this. And then he had like a rooster head. Like something like the rooster. No, it was this way. And then it was like, yeah. And something like that. This feels like a child's drawing. Something like that. I think maybe... whatever, something like that. Ah, nostalgic. Reminds me of the days when I played my 3DS. I had a brief like time where I was replaying things on my 3DS. I think I was playing like Professor Layton and stuff. Has Professor Layton ever been brought to Steam? I feel like I remember seeing it. Hang on, wait. Professor Layton. No, I guess not. Huh. Can you get Professor Layton anywhere? That's not... Huh, I guess not if it's not on Steam. It's not gonna be on Epic Games over Steam. Is that Reba? It's not supposed to be. I don't think I would actively draw any of the Vizsla members like that. The question is, do I give hat? Do I give crown? Do I give... Swear to God, I never realized just how tired I am until I really start streaming. It's like I'm not hyper fixated on whatever I'm doing on stream that I notice that I'm tired. If I was playing a game or something, I'd be like just focused on the game. Then again, drawing it does exert a lot of energy out of me, so I'm sure this isn't gonna help my tiredness. You know, my cousin, who has 2 daughters, the oldest one being the one that has the same birthday as me that I've talked about pretty frequently, and then the youngest one, who absolutely is terrified of me. Is terrified of most people in general, actually, that she doesn't know. She's one of the kids that unfortunately... Was she born during COVID? I guess she was. Because she's like 2, 3 now? I guess whatever age you go to pre-K. But I think because she was a COVID kid, she basically grew up without having interacted with anyone her age, or like just like interacting with kids. So she's very, very, very shy. And the reason why I'm bringing it up is because they've enrolled her and she's been going to pre-K for like a couple of hours, like a day. And it's been like, what, I think 2 weeks or maybe 3 weeks now. And I hear that apparently every day that she goes in, she's always crying. Or she just simply doesn't do anything. She doesn't interact with the kids there or the teachers. She just sits there, mortified of the world. And she's unable to become like... she's unable to adapt to the new environment. Because she's never... It's a completely new thing to have to be around people that isn't her, like, grandma. Who's takes care of her, like, almost all the time. If it's not a grandma or her mom or dad or grandpa. So she's been like, I think every day she goes into pre-K, she's getting traumatized persistently. That poor thing. Oh my god. Oh, thank you, DigiArts. Thank you. We're just doodling while I think about nothing. Or I think about some things to talk about that's basically amounts to nothing, but yeah. I feel really bad for my cousin's kid because like I try to make an effort to try to get her to like open up and to like interact with me because I want to help her like get out of her like the little shyness shell of hers, especially because I interact very well with her older sister. But it's so hard. She's so like she'll like kind of play with me a little bit, like we'll do a little bit of like a peekaboo type of thing sometimes. But if I try to go anywhere like near her, she freezes up like a like a rabbit who's getting hunted by like a wolf or something. So I'm just like, I feel so bad. Like, I won't hurt you. I just really want to, like, you know, I want to play with you. I want to help you get you acclimated to, like, you know, people that isn't your grandma and stuff. Especially because I see her basically almost every week. Because every week I'm usually with that family. We're either getting, like, breakfast or we're hanging out of the day doing stuff. Poor thing doesn't really do much of anything. Toddler things, yeah. It's rough. I feel bad for her because At this rate, at the very least, I just want her to be able to get accustomed to like being in school, because she's only in school for like what 2-3 hours a day at a time, and only for like it's not like every day too. So if she's not able to like get used to being in the class, and she's like always crying, and like I think my mom said at one point she was like crying so hard she threw up. I was like, oh no, that's rough. And like I think people, especially because it's never happened before, like it's probably hard for them to really like understand and also figure out how to deal with it when you have a kid during COVID and they haven't been able to interact normally with other people while growing up, which is like a really important thing for kids to like learn. But I think all my family members just basically say is like, God, you're nothing like your sister, because her older sister is much more like outgoing, very social, crazy social butterfly, that one. She's always yapping. She has no problem making friends and stuff. So it's like a completely like different person. And it sucks. She's having a rough time. Why don't you try to recreate her drawing if she did? Maybe that can help you get together. Her drawing? Recreate her drawing. Well, I don't think she draws. I don't think she's drawn anything. I'm sorry if my topic of my little cousin's kid is boring you, that you're focused on dentistry still. I don't know. Maybe with time she'll open up a little bit more. Maybe she's just a little bit too young. But I was reading that on Reddit that like, what was it, the younger Gen Z kids, which I guess is like the kids of the Gen Z is like the generation after us, right? So it'd be the young kids. Apparently, maybe not all of them, or like even a lot of them, but like apparently a decent amount of them, they don't know how to interact with people or something. They don't know how to interact with people in like a social setting. So they apparently are doing this thing. Not all of them, obviously, just some of them, probably only a handful. They're like doing a thing where they're just staring at people who talk to them, especially in like a service or like a retail setting. Like someone will ask them something and then they'll stare at them because they don't know how they like can't figure out how they should be responding back or something like that. And I'm like, ooh, that sounds like something that would have happened to me if I weren't their age. Is this a full-time profession? It is not. This is very much just a hobby that I do because I have no life. I don't think I would ever be cut out for a full-time profession of drawing. Sure, she'll be fine once the school gets going and she finds friends. Well, yeah, I assume with time, as she gets older, she'll hopefully be able to break out of her shell and like either she makes friends or like people will try to be friends with her so she doesn't have to put in the work to step forward first. But it's just currently right now, just hearing how she's struggling is a bummer. You don't want kids to have to grow up feeling stunted when it comes to like socially, because kids, when you're that young, you don't have to deal with the feeling of being judged or being like well, no, you can get bullied as a kid, but you don't have to deal with the harsh realities of like high school kids like picking on you or like judging you for your outfit choices or whatever, right? You're presumably supposed to be like relatively like pure when you're that young in pre-K. So you shouldn't have issues making friends with people as long as you're just like going around playing or like eating like peanut butter crackers or something. Still a pro work? Oh, thank you. I disagree, but thank you. That's very nice. If only the world could truly appreciate art for what it is. And pay people for what it is, but that's another story. We'll see how it goes, I guess. She's turning... I think she was born in... I freaking forget how old she is. I don't know how old you are when you start pre-K. I'm pretty sure she's not that young, though. I think she's, like, 2. I think she's 2. I remember when they told me they were applying... or enrolling her to pre-K, I remember thinking, like, that's so young. But I guess I didn't know how old... I don't know how old... kids are when you go to pre-K and stuff. But she's gonna be turning presumably 3 in December. I guess only time will tell if she'll break out of her shell. Her little introverted shell. I mean, I get it. I was like that before. I guess I always still considered myself to be pretty introverted. But I had to do an interview for something recently. It's not job related. It was for something. And like like having like my doing my talking with the people that I was getting interviewed for and whatever. They were talking to me about how they had interviewed somebody who was like someone similar in age, but they were very shy and they like just didn't really talk to people. They were very like recluse and introverted and all that stuff. And I said like, oh yeah, I'm similar like that too. But they were like, no, you at least have a personality. You're like able to talk and everything. And I'm like, oh, I guess when you put it that way. I think I used to be really pretty introverted. I think in some capacity I am introverted, but I think when it calls for it, especially if it's like just like a small group of people or like 1 or 2 people, I can manage to like make small talk or like say stuff, but it's still not fun talking to people. Socializing is still a very scary concept, especially if you say the wrong things. Or if we were like bringing back to that topic or the discussion a few streams ago where I talked about potentially being on the spectrum or whatever. How you say things not realizing that it could potentially be too blunt or offensive or something like that. I don't know. I also just realized that it's been so long since I busted out my VTuber and my webcam. I forgot I had it. I was just looking at it. I was like, oh, wait a minute. I forgot that was a thing I did. But not that it matters. You don't need a VTuber for fucking drawing. But I don't know. It's just it's interesting for me to see how I'm turning out as I grow older. I remember when I was really young, I would be kind of like I would yap a bit. I was a social person. I would make friends and all that stuff. And then high school I was still kind of social too. I think it was college where I became pretty introverted. It was around the time when my depression really fucking kicked into full swing because I hated myself and I didn't know what to do with my life. But at some point, I think because like going into the adult world when you're working a job that has you like having to interact with people, it's kind of like, okay, I guess I'll have to like figure out how to talk. And it could be really awkward. You could still be like a little odd if it's not a natural thing for you, but the effort's there, I guess. I still remember taking a lot of pointers when it comes to like socializing with people from the old anime Lucky Star. Just the way that they would talk to each other in that show helped me to realize like, oh, if I like want to talk about things to people, I could just like bring it up randomly if there's any like, if like, you know, the conversation dies down or whatever, or you just find things to talk about. But yeah, talking's hard. I'm introverted in the way that I don't want to initiate things due to hesitation. Yeah. Like, I'm not gonna be the one to reach out, but I think a lot of the times when I'm with someone that is also introverted, if I'm with someone that's like seemingly gonna be quiet, then I'll try to be the one to initiate things, because I understand where they're coming from. So I don't want them to be in a position where they feel like they have to like say something or like be forced into like an awkward silence type of thing. I don't know. That might be giving myself too much credit. I'm hating this. I'm hating. Wait, hold on. I'm taking all that back. I don't like the hatching that I'm doing with this pen. Nope. I ran out of. Okay. Well, I don't know what to do with this anymore. I had a vague idea of what I would consider drawing for this challenge, this number 2 challenge of Fluffy, but I ended up not doing it even remotely, and I won't be doing it now that I've gotten this down. I could always just do the other days, I guess. I don't have to be forced to stick to 1 day per stream or 1 challenge per stream. How do you draw a sheep? I don't even know what sheeps look like. Sheep head. Sheep. 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 Sheeps have like a long face, right? Sheep. Well, they have like the eyes that are like this, right? Like goats. The sideway eye. Well, it doesn't look like. Well, Their bodies are the ones with the wool, right? Not the head. It's like that, like that. Do they have tails? Probably like this. I guess you. I think they have horns, but what do their horns look like? No. What do sheep horns look like? I'll never know. Alright, I'm over it. I'm over it. Well, I don't feel like working on Fluffy anymore, so I'm just gonna... Oops. I'm gonna just make this Fluffy and just move on. What's this? What's the third one? Opposite? Opposite. Opposite. Hang on, I'm gonna save this. Maybe if I end up doing all 30 of them at some point in my lifetime, I will post them. Probably not, though. I'm getting warm. That's why I shouldn't be streaming in the afternoon. What is this? 3? Opposite. Opposite. This morning was nice and cool. Being able to go out and do my laundry and run errands while feeling cold was so nice. Now it's hot. Opposite, 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 opposite. What's opposite? What's something that's opposite? Yin yang. There. Opposite. No. Opposite, 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 opposite. Opposite, opposite. Ow. Uh-huh. That's opposite, right? Then before I get flagged for copyright for singing opposite. Singing it just like the artist, the original song themselves. Kissy face into your phone, but I'm trying to kiss your lips for real. Uh-huh. That's why I slept so well. Lucky you! God, I wish that were me. I wish I could sleep well. I mean, I slept better last night than I did the night before, but I can't exactly say that I slept good. I guess I do sleep, like, decently. It's not like I go to bed super late. Well, I wake up early. I wake up at like 6 usually, so... I wake up at 6 and I usually don't really fall back asleep. Because the bitch doesn't know to fall asleep. I wish there could be a day where I could just go to bed without having to think of anything. But I don't know how to not think. How do people not think? Apparently that's a thing that people do to help, like, because if you're thinking too much, that's how it keeps you up a lot of times, I think. But, like, is it possible to not think? How do you not think? How do you not have something going through your head? A lot of times I'll just try, if I feel like I have too much thoughts going through my head, I'll be like, okay, go to sleep, 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 go to sleep. Anyway. The political climate of the world these days, huh? Like, oh, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. Man, that game. I love Data Diver. Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. Naruto. It's rough. I don't know how to turn off my brain. Yeah. You've been listening to that song going to sleep? Or you just talking about just listening to that song in general? I can't listen to music going to sleep. Especially if it's music that I want to listen to. I'm just gonna end up thinking about the song. The song that I've been listening to a lot recently has just been like a cover someone sang. I think I actually brought it up last time I streamed too. It's a cover for a song. It's a Japanese, like, I think is it Vocaloid? I don't know if it's a Vocaloid song. But on the surface, if you don't know the lyrics of the song, it sounds like a really nice song. But apparently the meaning to the lyrics is just like, talking about like a girl who like says some shit in order to get her like friend, a friend that she likes, I think. A friend that she likes to get bullied, and then the bullying goes too far, and then the girl's friend gets like assaulted and then ends up committing the unalive. And then the girl singing the song that the song's like about or whatever is like admitting to being responsible to getting her to get bullied or something like that. And it's like, why does it take such a dark, why is the song so dark? It just seems like such a nice slow song. Why do you have to go so dramatic? The stalking song? No. The stalking song is about, that's the monitoring song. It just seems a lot of like Japanese, like, I think, well, I say a lot. But the thing about Japanese music compared to like what you hear in like mainstream like Western music is that Japanese music tends to have like a lot of meaning to their lyrics. And maybe it comes off being much more profound or whatever because you don't know the language. I guess also because when it comes to like me, when I listen to Western music, it's a lot of the mainstream, and the mainstream music is kind of like a bunch of nothing when it comes to the lyrics, I think. Or at least I don't pay attention to it. And I don't really pay attention to the lyrics in the Japanese music either. But sometimes you were just wondering what the song's about. Monitoring. That's the song with Hatsune Miku. The original version of the song anyway. That's the one about like going to someone that you like's like apartment, trying to figure out what they're doing and to come out because they want to see them, and they're like, I know what you're doing in there, come on out, I see you, blah blah blah. Like Japanese music seems to have like a lot of like intricate meanings to the lyrics, and it's always like there's a lot of complexity to their music, it feels like. And then this obviously isn't for all Japanese music. It's a lot of just music that I come across because of like Vocaloids or like people make covers of them or whatever. But like you wouldn't have like in America, you're not gonna really find a song that's called like From Horse to Deer, you know? Where in Japan there's a song called Horse to Deer, and you're wondering, like, what does that have to do with anything? What do you mean a horse to deer? Why is a horse interacting with a deer? Presumably that song is not about actual horses and deers, but then what is it about? I could look it up, but I have opted not to. But it's one of my favorite songs from Kenshin Yonezu. He has made a few of my favorite songs. He also made a song called Flamingo. It's not related to horse and deer. But he has a song called Flamingo. And one that's called Paprika. He's a good singer. I should drink water. You're right. You're right, Stream Element. You know, actually, going back to this for a second, I wonder if this... Do I have what it takes to add color to this to make it look okay? I feel like I need to be coloring more as a means to practice, and I fucking hate how I color, but I hate how I color, so why would I do it? But I'm so bad at coloring. People seem to make coloring look so easy. So effortless. And obviously that takes skill and training and stuff, but I can't seem to do it in a way that I like it. What is this brush? Or I guess it's a pencil tool, it's not a brush. If I was better at coloring, I'd be unstoppable. But I hate coloring. And I think my coloring is doo-doo. I've made like a few attempts in my life trying to understand coloring. Understanding color theory and understanding like the tips and tricks to how to make like colors work for you and all that stuff, but none of them work in the way that I like it. Or none of them stick, none of them work. I'm bad. Or I'm not, or I just don't like it. But I think I'm also bad too. Maybe the reason why I don't like coloring as much is because, like, when it comes to, like, drawing the thing itself, you're seeing, like, something being born out of it. And that, I guess, in my head is already enough life. Like, color obviously brings things to, like, life in a different definition, in a different sense. But for me, it's kind of like having to do it. It's not like breathing life into something that like it's breathing life into something that already existed. So it's like, what's the point? I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know if that's even what I believe in. It's just not as satisfying coloring for me than doing a sketchy, than making a thing. Because I'd rather just be making things rather than like coloring in things. Maybe that makes more sense. Like I want to move on to another thing already because I get bored of it so fast. That's why that one large drawing that I was working on is still unfinished because I'm in the coloring stages and the coloring is the most boring part and I don't feel like I haven't touched it in so long because I don't want to do the coloring. What's bad? I don't know. I just don't like it. You can't just ask an artist what they don't like about their art. It's just for reasons that they don't want to explain or they can't explain. Like to a regular person looking at an art, they might think, oh, it looks fine. This is looking shit. Hang on. That's looking really bad. That's looking muddy as hell. I think the things that I don't like about it is just that it doesn't look like it doesn't look like the end results do not look like how the people that I respect and admire look. Even if in my head I try to like recreate it or like replicate their techniques and stuff, it doesn't work for me. I think I don't have a good sense of color theory. I'm not good at seeing colors in the sense that like I don't have a good idea of like how colors bounce off of each other or like I don't have a good vision of like what colors go well with each other. Like one of the things that they tell people not to do when you're drawing or coloring is to not to use black or gray. Like you want to use other colors, and I'm the type of person that like it's not that I use black or gray, but I'm the type of person that feels like it makes sense to use black and gray. But apparently that's not how it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to be using black and gray to do shading and stuff. You're supposed to be using like other colors to help bring out like certain tones and value and hue to drawings and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't know what that means. It probably has to do like with the I wouldn't be surprised if that's like a part like an aspect of like the tism shit, where I like can't see things. I can only take things very literally. So if it's not clear black and white, then I can't see more of it. I don't know if that's how. I don't think the way I worded it was correct, but in my head it makes sense. I don't think I worded that. I don't think I articulated that correctly. It's also one of those things that even if you can like even if you look at something and you can visualize something, once you actually have to do it yourself, it's like a different story. Like yeah, if you're looking at someone's like drawing and there's like blue shading on something that's white to indicate that like it's being reflected by like the sky, the whatever the outdoors that you're in, the environment that you're in, it's like, oh okay, that makes sense. But when you're actually going to do it yourself and you just try to throw blue on something, it's like, well, now you have to make everything else work the same way, and it's like it doesn't really like, you have to know how it works. It's not enough for you to just look at something and be like, ah, okay, so that's how it, so it does it like this. But you have to know how, or you have to know why it works that way. Again, I don't know if any of what I'm saying is making sense. I'm just like word rambling. It's the nonsensical ramblings of someone who doesn't want to draw. I think if I just kept my like the coloring simple, it'd be enough. But I always go overboard with a lot of things. Like in a way that I kind of want to make it like in my head like perfect, but it never comes out that way. So then I just end up ruining it. Again, that's what I did with my larger picture. I had to go back to that eventually and just have to start from the beginning with the coloring. I need to do that. Well, I don't need to. No one's gonna make me do it. No one cares. But it'd be a waste to kind of just like leave that unfinished. I say when I have like a billion whips in my folder. But at least like, especially because I've started doing the thing where I post like every month like a drawing, or I try to, or I post like what I did do in a month. I'm always bound to at least have one thing. And I think that helps to get me a little bit more motivated to draw stuff. I think it also helps that I've like cut out editing videos. When I cut out the content creating aspect, then I have more time to draw stuff. So like, if I look at September I have, wait, oh yeah, we're in September now. September I have currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish, 6-ish, 7, 8. I forgot I drew this. Sorry, I'm looking at a thumbnail for a drawing that I did and I just left. Well, you'll see it at the end of the month, I guess. And then I lost count. 8? Something like that? I have a decent amount of sketches that I'll probably be posting at the end of the month. Oh, thank you for helping me count, Diego. Thank you. I was like counting, I got distracted, and I forgot what numbers were coming out of my mouth. Didn't your watercolor frog outfit girl come out fine? Yeah. But there's like occasions where like some of the coloring will come out okay. But whenever I'm looking at other people's art on my like For You page and like social media or whatever, I'm always like, why? I want to color like that. I wish I had like the intuition to color that specific way. And it's not a matter of just do it that way. I don't want to hear none of that, to just do it or just copy them. I don't want to hear it. I already had the discussion saying that like it doesn't come intuitively. It's more than just looking at it and copying it. Maybe it's just a matter of, maybe it's just that I make it harder on myself because I'm just struggling with life, so I'm not struggling with life enough that I have to find things to struggle about, I guess. But I know to like the to people who aren't artists or who don't like color or like paint, what am I talking about, coloring or painting? The do art in general, it's not something that they're gonna pay attention to or care about. Maybe they will. Maybe they'll be like, the composition of this drawing is not to my taste. This person doesn't know what they're doing. Their use of color here is wrong. The light doesn't bounce the right way. There might be people that aren't artists that will think that way, but what do I know? Maybe if I force myself to post something once a month that's like drawings that are colored. Aside from the fact that I would post like almost nothing. Maybe it would be a good motivator to get me to color more so I can get better at it, but you would think after drawing for like 20 plus years of my life I would have gotten the hang of something that I'd like by now. But I guess not. I guess that's what happens when you do this as a hobby. Man, I decided to like do some like baked chicken tenders with like breadcrumbs and like seasoning and all that stuff, and after working so hard to put the whole thing together and bake it and eat it, I decided that I didn't like it at all. So now I just have chicken tenders sitting around and I don't know what to do with them. I prefer sketching than coloring. No, I agree. I was talking about earlier too. I was like, I prefer to be the one. I prefer to just draw than color. Coloring is a process in the art creating that like I personally don't care for, because I feel that just creating the art itself is enough for me. And also I'm just not good at, I don't like coloring. Even if coloring does add a lot, can add a lot. I like sketching better too. I agree. That's why everything I do is just sketches. I fucking hate. I decided I don't want her to have skin color. Muddy ass bitch. Sorry for the swearing. I say that as if it's funny. There was that talk about how like on YouTube the restricted mode makes it so that you see a lot less videos than you actually have if you're like. I think people were theorizing that it has to do with like swearing and probably the content itself, but I think mainly swearing. So I checked out restricted mode on my channel, on my YouTube channel, and there's only like 16 videos that show up when you're in restricted mode. And like half of it is like the videos of me when I played the game Toem. I was like, oh. I guess that makes sense. I guess there wouldn't have been a need for me to swear in Toem, but it's just funny. How about you draw your next challenge text with only oily crayons? Very. I like how you had to. I like that you very specifically said oily crayons. Where did that? Why oily crayons specifically? Although now that you say that, I saw a video on Reddit somewhat recently. I don't know how accurate it was. In fact, I don't think it was accurate at all. But it was like someone using color pencils. I think, like two differently like priced range like color pencils. The pricing was probably not accurate, but in the video it was like $100 color pencil set versus like a $500 color pencil set or something like that, which if you're spending $500 on color pencils, that is some rich people's stuff, but that's crazy. I don't know, seeing the word oily crayon made me think of that. I want the tenders. You don't want the tenders. If like I knew this already, but you really can't like substitute like baking shit over frying stuff sometimes. Bacon like breadcrumbed chicken tenders is like so ass compared to like frying it or something like that. This is where I was like, I wish I had a fucking air fryer or like a deep fryer or something like that instead of baked. It would have been fine if I was using that chicken to do like salad, because that's usually what I do with chicken tenders. But in my case, I was trying to clear out like I was trying to eat the chicken tenders that I had. I took out of the freezer a few days ago, so I was like, I need to make something with this. And that was what I chose to make, and I hated it. Maybe if I smother it in like curry or something later, it'll be okay. But for now, I'm just like thinking about like, man, I'm not good at this stuff. Maybe I should have seasoned it something differently or done something differently with it. Oily crayons can spill over more easily? What? What? I don't even know what an oily crayon is. I've never heard of an oily crayon. What do you mean spill? Crayons spill? I don't know what an oily crayon is now that I think about it. I can't say I've ever used any crayons that weren't like Crayola, I don't think. Crayons are not... Oh, wait, no. What is, pastel... No. What? Huh? Wait. Now that I've said that, I think I have used something that's like oily crayons. But isn't there a different name for them? It's kind of like, wait, I have like a visual in my head of, or like a feeling in my hand of what they are. Crayons. Pastel! Oil pastel! That's what it is. Okay, so okay, so I was thinking about something that you were talking about. It's just I guess I wasn't thinking of them. I've never heard of them called oil crayons. Wait. Let me look it up real quick. Oil pastel. Yeah, I remember oil pastels. Oh, those were fun. I think. Oh my god, how nostalgic. This box is so nostalgic. Wait, let me see. Let me show this. This shit is so nostalgic. Wow. No, it's a web P. Stupid web P. This box design is very nostalgic. Hang on. It takes like 7 hours for me to upload something for OBS. Wait, image. I took a lot of art classes, obviously, growing up because I was an art kid. Obviously. Before I decided to move to digital and do everything digitally. Where is... Oh, I need to save it. Wait. Where does the screenshot save to? Here we go. Save. There you go. Oh wait, is there a folder where it saves all my screenshots now? Oh no. I don't like that. I screenshot a lot of things. Where did the crayons go? Oh, is it in gallery? It is in gallery. Oh shit, I have a lot of fucking trash in here. Hang on. Wait. Sorry, I'm distracted. Can I not leave? Okay, whatever. Never mind. There. This shit is so nostalgic. This box of crayons or color pastels, oil pastels. This is so nostalgic. I remember this in middle school. Oh my god. Yeah, you can stay here. You can be my support. You could be my support. No, it's not gladiolus. Talk about having like one dream that had gladiolus. You think it's my entire personality. I don't remember what I did in that dream. That dream was, I think we were looking for something. And we ended up not finding it. I think there's more to it. I had a lot of dreams this week that were like notable, but I decided to only write about 2 of them. And I forgot what the one was that I didn't write about because I didn't write it. What was I doing? I got distracted. I got so distracted just now because of crayons. But I was thinking about how when I was younger, before the age of the digital art, before tablets were a thing, really. One of the joys of being an art child was going to the art store and looking at all the art stuff that you couldn't afford. There was this one art store that I loved to visit that was like that was kind of far away from where I lived. But if ever I was in the area, I would go there and then not be able to buy a single thing because it was art supplies are expensive, especially if you're a kid. But then during my college years, when I had to buy art supplies for classes, like canvas boards and like paint, and like I'd go there to buy Copic markers too because they had a good selection of Copic, like Japanese like markers and stuff. It was great. And then I was really sad when it closed down. But then in my head, I was like, I wasn't buying anything from there anymore anyway because I switched to digital. Because as nice as it is to buy physical art supplies, they can be expensive. So I've saved a lot of money in my lifetime by switching to digital. Although I'm pretty sure I still have a box of like I think I have a box of like watercolor paint somewhere that I've never once used. I think I bought it with the intention of using it once, but then I never did it. Maybe I'll see it someday. Most of the stores are a disappearing breed. Yeah, I think well, a lot of stores in general probably are having will have a hard time just keeping their foot on the ground, especially if like rent and like everything is going up in price. And also people like love to just shop everything on Amazon and like online. So it makes sense. There's still an art store that I can go to if I had wanted to. I think they sell like art supplies along with like things that like probably tourists would like to buy because you gotta cater to the tourist. Honestly, if I have the space for it at some point down the line, I'd like to pick up painting again. It's just the mess of cleaning up after, or the hassle of cleaning up after is annoying. But I did really like painting when I had it in college. I thought I was good at it. But there was like I had found myself like a style that I was like confident in and I really liked, that people also liked too. I could have kept up with it if I had cared to, but again, doing physical art means that it takes up space and time and money. Not time, it takes up space and money. None of which I had. Maybe someday. According to my calculations with the calculated mass of the square unit of the fraction of the prime number, the whole number minus the decimal adding the negative is 1. Sure. But I read all that and I don't know what that means. School is a distant memory for me. The last time I was in school, well, I guess the last time I was in like school that wasn't just like a extracurricular class, I graduated in I want to say, was it 2014? It might have been 2014. Man. What a time that was. What a time that was when I was young. I made choices like throughout my all my school years when I had the ability to choose, basically. So high school and college that I kind of like I regret. But at the same time, nowadays college degrees aren't worth much. The only thing I don't regret is when I went to a 2-year program to save on money. So I didn't have to worry about debt at the time. It also led me to go to a school that was next to a pizza shop that had corn dogs that I still think about. I still think about the corn dogs and I think about their BLT sandwiches. In my heart, the only thing that matters to me is food. That should be my slogan. A boop boop boop. I wish I had tried it more while I was still had a chance in high school or art school. Oh, painting. Yeah, when I went to college for the degree that I went for, it was like they called it studio arts or whatever, which was just an accumulation of like a different like a variety of art stuff. Like you try out a bunch of art stuff. I think in essence that as a degree it doesn't really mean much. Because you're just like kind of testing the waters on like different medias, like painting and then like ceramics. There was one, I don't remember what the class was, but there was one class where I did a flip book. But it wasn't a flip book class. I don't remember what that art class was. There's one where I made a flip book. There's one where I had to do video editing, which that was my worst class. I got the lowest grade on that one, which the lowest grade was like still, I think it was like it was either a B plus or an A minus, which doesn't matter because there was a thing in my school where you could like knock out like the lowest grade you have, like one of them if you're doing really well already. So I was like, take that B out. That B didn't exist. I hated that class. Fuck that class. So that class meant nothing to me. But during that time, my favorite classes was we did one that was like screen printing. I don't know if it was called screen printing, but you took linoleum blocks, you carved out like a design, and then you rolled like ink over it and stamped it. I don't know if that's called screen printing. It's like some sort of like variety of that. Ceramics is good too. I really like ceramics, except I wasn't good at that either. Nowadays, I don't even know if like art schools like I don't know if it's like even good to go to art school these days anymore, given the current state of the world when it comes to art. You have like the physical art stuff like sculpting and like woodworking, or all the like the physical on hand like ceramic stuff that maybe it you can still do something with, but with the rise of like AI and the lack of respect for art in general in the society, art school might not be a good idea. I say that as if there's anyone, well, I don't know if there's anyone watching here that's considering an art school, but just think about it real hard if you plan on going to art school. Diego the animator. Just think real hard if you plan on going to art school, okay? Just, I don't want to sound pessimistic. But given the current what's the word I'm thinking of? The current environment. I don't know if it's the right word. It's just a very dangerous. It's dangerous to put your money into schools, into art schools, knowing that on the other end you might just not be able to get a job at all. Because even people I know who went to like who did animation and stuff, they're having struggles with that. So they're having to go to like a different, like, I know multiple people like that actually. They're having to like revert to something else because they're not able to like land jobs and stuff. Hey man, Diego, if you have the money and you have the passion and the heart for it, you can do whatever the heck you want. You don't have to listen to some random YouTuber who's drawing as a hobby and it's not a full-time profession. I just want you to be like, I just want you to think about it a lot. If you have the money for it, then go, by all means, go for it. Maybe it'll help you. You could be lucky and break out into the industry. It's just tough out there. Because I went to art school. I mean, I went to school for art, and the job that I'm at now, I think the classes that I took in, well, the classes I took in my 4-year did not help me remotely for the job that I'm doing right now. A class or two that I took in my 2-year when I went to community college, that helped me a little bit. But even then, it's still a matter of learning on my own. Are you saying I'm bad at art? I don't know. I don't know how your art is. But if you're good at art, then why would you need to go to school for it, right? Why would you go to school for it if you were so good at it, Diego? Honestly, there's probably a lot of people that have been able to like showcase their art and even land jobs with it without the need of going to like an art school for it. That's oh, sorry. That's the thing about like social media. Especially those that, as much as I don't want to say it, like people on Twitter, if you get your art seen by people on Twitter and stuff like that, I think a lot of people who help out with like anime stuff too, specifically, get their works noticed with Twitter and like social media, and then they help land them like the opportunity to help key some art for anime stuff. Just realistically speaking, if you're having to throw down like $50,000 a year for art school, it's just not highly recommended. For my age of people at school saying I'm talented at sketching, I mean, yeah, you could be. I'm not, but by no means am I saying that you're bad, or by no means am I saying that you should stop doing it. I'm just saying, if you want to be accomplished in your art and do well with your art, and you want to make it like a job, you don't necessarily have to go to an art school for it. That's what I'm saying. you might be able to break out and do something really good with your art without having to spend like hundreds and thousands of dollars for school, assuming that you're American. And I love how Urban just comes here and you're talking about chimpanzees. We're talking about art schools and talking about art stuff, and you're just here talking about chimpanzees. On the bright side, I haven't really dropped any frames. It's the least amount of frames I've dropped recently. Hooray! I wonder what would happen if I streamed a game. I wonder if upgrading to Windows 11 would have helped with the whole internet dropping thing that I had previously. But I guess I'll never know. I might sketch a monkey. Go for it. Go for it. That's one thing that budding artists should do too, is to learn to draw more than just people. See, all I did was practice drawing girls, and that's all I know how to do. That's all I know how to do. You tell me to draw a monkey, I can't do it. Alright, I'm done. I don't feel like adding more colors. This is good enough for me. I'm satisfied with this. I'm moving on. I seem to like coloring in without putting skin tone in. I don't know if that really helps with the thing as a whole, but excuse me. I've decided that I don't care. All right, what was I doing here? Opposite. What was that? Anonymous viewer has gifted 1 sub. Wowie, thank you. Ancient Ark, you're not anonymous. Why did it say anonymous on the stream? Thank you, Ancient Ark. I really need to find the motivation to update all my like stream stuff. Any emotes or like alerts and stuff. I just like don't care. I just don't care. I care so little. But thank you. At least I knew to turn it on so I can hear it. So often when I gift, it's Chris. Yeah, I think it's probably because the way they gift it is that they gift it based on the people that show up to like stream on Twitch specifically, like they watch my streams. So it's based on if your gifts are always going to like the same people. It's probably because they're the only ones that come to see my look at my stream. Se sienta. What does that mean? Is that Spanish? I'm getting sick of this song. Or getting sick of this music. Hang on. Let's put on something else. You just said 67. I sure did. This gotta be some Gen Z jokes. This is some Gen Z like meme. It has to be. I think I remember seeing people joke about that on like the random things on the internet, and I'm like, I don't know what that means. I decided that I don't think I care. You got me. I said the thing. My mother will be so upset with me for saying the number 67. It'll be just as upsetting as my dad thinking that I would get married soon. I don't know why people say 67. Why are you playing in on the joke? I don't know what it means. Kids just repeating what they see on the internet, not knowing the implications behind it. I guess it's better that they're doing it with a number and not with something questionable. That's my brother on the right. Not being sarcastic, that's a fact. Well, this person's about to be a girl, so if you're calling your brother like a demonic girl, then sure. More power to them. I drew them too close to each other and I don't feel like moving them, so I'm just gonna... There you go, that's all. He'll eat all the cookies and excuses do you want me to starve? Whatever you do, keep your McDonald's a good 5 miles away from him. I'll be sure to do that. I'll be sure to keep my food away from your brother specifically. Listen, you kids, I'm sure you kids are all growing individuals that need their sustenance. If you put McDonald's in front of me, I too will eat it. I was thinking about chicken nuggets today. Why are you thinking about it? Just go get it. Lamau. Stop thinking about it and just go get them. Ain't you grown? You don't want to get into eating McDonald's again? I mean, like a four piece nugget is not gonna kill you. If you just like controlled how much you eat. Instead of going like straight cold turkey. Should be okay. Or you can go somewhere else to get nuggets. Make your own nuggets. Go make your nuggets with the chicken tenders that I hate. That I made. I'm gonna go outside and get a wild chicken. Just make sure you ask for its permission if they're okay with getting slaughtered and eaten. I said I was too lazy to move them, but I decided I'm gonna move them. At least move this one up. Damn! Hands are fucked up. That's what's hard to draw when you don't have a guide. Ooh. Just free fucking balling it, whatever. I'm gonna move away from our hand for now. Drawing is too hard! Brother's been calling you a Big Mac. Eh, siblings will... The siblings be like that. As long as you're not, like, physically hurting each other. And it's... I don't really know how to... How do you deal with kids? How do you talk to kids? Just be good to each other. He's physically hurting himself with all the McDonald's and Domino's? He's 6? Where does he get the money from at 6? To eat McDonald's and... I don't know. I know as a kid it's hard to have control your indulgences and stuff. I'm not one to talk because I used to, when I was younger, when I was a kid, I would eat all the chips and snacks that I wanted. I could get my fucking greasy little hands on. He begs your mother for McDonald's? Yeah. It's tough. I imagine your mom, parents, or whatever, like, probably just don't have the means to get something a little bit better. I guess when it's with kids, the kids only want something that's quick, so McDonald's is easy to get. I don't know. Hopefully as you guys get older, you'll eat a little bit better or stuff. Yep. I don't know what's the how do you guide children? How do you guide kids? I don't want to say the wrong thing. I don't want to give bad advice. Do I smell a level of acceptance to being mean to your siblings? The thing is, even if I try to say, like, don't be mean to your sibling, isn't it like a normal sibling thing to do where you're kind of rowdy with each other or you say mean things? I feel like that's a standard thing that happens, and then as you get older, hopefully you just learn to, like, be chill with each other. It's okay, as long as you're just living your life and you're doing things the way you want it, and you're not hurting nobody. Just be good. Be a good kid. Be a good kid. Go outside, hang out with people, have fun, make friends, touch grass, as they say, and then occasionally wind down with some art and some your favorite YouTube channel that's not mine. What's next on this list? Bump. Bump? Bump what? Like I feel like the first thought is gonna be like of a pregnant lady, but I'm not trying to draw a mom. Bump. Could draw like a bump of chicken? Bump. I can draw someone getting hit by a car? Well, that's not good. I'd have to draw a car if I did that. Bump. Why am I doing this by hand? Sure. Alright, over it. I'm moving on to the next one. It's a boring opposite. Hey! It's so hot. Oh my god, I've been at this for 2 hours already? Should I just call it? This stream went by fast. But I don't feel like drawing a bump. 10 more hours? No, thank you. If I had to stream for 10 more hours, you just hear me say nothing. I would literally do nothing. That's it. I'll call it then. It's a very short stream. I think I just like, as I know it's like, I think people prefer if I do drawing streams and stuff like that for like chatting and like seeing it. But I feel like unless I have something going on in life to yap about, drawing streams this frequently, I just have nothing to talk about or say or do, and I also have I had no motivation coming into this drawing to begin with. This is what I like to do a lot. I like to just do a lot of squiggles when I'm warming up. Like, it's satisfying when you get the swirls nice. I was talking about earlier how I was like practicing signatures and stuff. Like if I were to, this isn't my signature in real life, but if I were to do a signature, if I were to change it, I would change it to something like this. It's not going to be like this because now I'm saying it, but I wish my signature was more ornate. Or if my signature could have been this. Wow. Wow. Look at that. Streamed more than I ever anticipated. Or you expected like a 3-minute stream? My standards are low. Rawr! What is this little guy? Wow, no, I don't like the teeth. It's a little guy. I'm surprised you did these so many shortly apart. Oh, the art streams? Well, the art streams is like one of the ways to get me to draw stuff because I'm always talking about how I don't draw much. The streaming is a good way to do it, and seemingly the drawing streams are more receptive than gaming streams, and also I'm not ready to commit to like a long game right now. That's why I haven't been doing gaming. Wow. An elephant. Wow, an elephant with its head caved in. Wow. 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 Draw a ball that symbolizes my brother. Diego's brother. Here he is with McDonald's French fries. There you go. And I'm sure he'd be very happy with his McDonald's. Well, I'm glad we got to end off on a random scribbly dibbly stream. What did we do today? We did this, and then we did this. Fluffy. What's better? I guess it wouldn't be fair. This one has colors that's more softer. I spent more time on it, but this one has feet. And surely you all like feet, right? I'm sure you do. You may say that you don't like feet, but I'm sure you all like feet. Alright, that's it. I'm gonna go probably take a walk. And get myself some boba or something. You know, the weather's good where you are and you still have a day to do stuff. Go do a day. Go do a day. Go do a day. Go do it. Go do a day. How do you do it? You do it. Do the day. When they say do the day. Go do World War IV. I mean, if you seemingly have the power to do it, go do something about the current state of the world. Just don't hurt yourself. No ankles? Oh my god, you're a pervert. Okay, see ya. Have a good day. Thanks for hanging out with me. I stream. Probably will stream again next week. Oh, actually, I think if plans are set, I think I'm gonna be on Vizomatic tomorrow. If it's a stream, I think it's a stream. I assume it's a stream. Maybe it's not a stream. Maybe it's not a stream, and I'm just spoiling stuff. But you may or may not see me tomorrow. I don't know. Anyway, bye. Have a good day. Drink water, and also share your McDonald's, your fast food. Okay, bye.